Hey guys, it's Mark with a message from our sponsor, the Oklahoma Sooners Shirt of the Month Club, offered by thefanstop.com. Get new and officially licensed Oklahoma Sooners t-shirts, long sleeves, and hoodies delivered to your doorstep monthly. The shirts are super soft and super comfortable. They have two plans. The standard is t-shirts only for $21.95 a month. The premium offers long sleeves and hoodies between the months of October and February and is $26.95 a month, and both plans offer free shipping. The Fan Stop is Oklahoma based and has over 30 other colleges also available for their Shirt of the Month Club. I was surprised when I went on to thefanstop.com and saw just how many different schools they had available. It's basically everyone in the Big 12, everyone you're going to want in the Big 12 at least, and most of the Power 5. They've got a great thing going over there. If you like what you're hearing and you want to go get yourself a Shirt of the Month Club subscription, tell them we sent you by using promo code DAGUYZ, that's DAGUYZ, at checkout for 15% off of your first 6 months of t-shirts. Again, that's promo code DAGUYZ, DAGUYZ, for 15% off of your first 6 months worth of t-shirts. Tell them we sent you.
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
What's up and welcome in to episode number 23 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Matt Gann, Mark Hall, Ryan Tyson. No Patrick Hertzberger, my guy's in Mexico. He didn't want to do the international show this time around, but that's okay. We'll give him some slack this time. Mark is back from vacay, looking great. Happy you're here. Today is Wednesday, June 15th. Boys, how we doing? We'll start with Mark. Mark, how was vacation?
It was good, man. It was good. We really enjoyed our time on the boat, the Royal Caribbean boat that we went on. Food was only okay. I got to be honest. Can't lie to the listeners. Yeah, disappointing. Apparently the staffing is still down from pandemic times. So, over time that'll get there. But the most important thing is I got Cassie on the blackjack tables and she didn't run away. She was actually kind of having fun. So
shout out to Cassie. We love to see
it. We love to see it.
New interesting common that we're learning about. So casino trips in the future. You know what I mean?
Gotta love it. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at Program Guys with a Z, on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page, Program Guys Podcast. Be sure to follow us on all that stuff. We appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe. That helps us out more than you know. Let's start off, guys, with the NBA Finals. And Golden State Warriors are up 3-2. They're 1 win away from being the NBA champions. It is because the Boston Celtics choose not to play smart basketball. That's pretty much it. I have a lot on this game, but I want to let anybody else jump in first before I just go scorched earth on the Celtics franchise. So anybody, what are your thoughts? We're 5 games in. Game 6 coming up on Thursday night back in Boston. Celtics have to win, obviously. Anybody thoughts from the first 5 games or last night or on Monday night's game?
Yeah, this is the most roller coaster series I think I've ever watched in my entire lifetime. I've never thought of a series where I thought, man, one team is more dominant. Anyone can literally win on any given night. It is absolutely insane. I still have the Celtics in 7, so we're still close, but they did not look very good last night. They just, I keep saying it, they're just inconsistent. They didn't shoot the basketball very well. They turned it over. They just lose all momentum going into the second half. I know you've harped on it and you'll continue to harp on it, but what is the coach's game plan? I just don't understand what he's doing. Even when they shot bad in the first half, they were only down by 11. I mean, it was still within reach, but then they just get blown out in the third quarter. That's been the biggest difference in this series, is coming out of halftime. Who makes the adjustments? It's Golden State winning that so far. They showed it last night. I do think the Celtics win at home again, force a game 7. But man, that might be the most up in the air game of all game 7s. So
yeah, that third quarter was insane. because the Celtics actually did make the adjustments.
Mhm.
That's the thing, is they came out, started hitting shots. They had 8 threes in a row. Did it get to 9? And playing good defense. Jason Tatum's playing aggressive. It's all good. And the Warriors just can weather the storm. They've all been there. They've got a core plus now Jordan Poole, who, he plays like he's been there. And they were able to weather that storm better than I think most teams could, especially at home. And I'm not sure the Celtics knew what to do when you look up at the end of the third quarter and you're down 1. I think at that point, it might as well have been over. They squandered it.
Yeah. And I mean, if you lose a game where Steph Curry doesn't have a single 3-pointer, that's not great. It's Celtics needed to win that game.
It's never happened before this game. It had never, ever happened in the playoffs. 229 games, and this is the first one.
But I think, going back to, I picked the Warriors in 7. I'm still holding to my thing, holding to my choice. And I remember when I was talking about it, I said the experience is the difference. And I really think that showed last night or 2 nights ago or whenever this airs. So, because you see the experience of this team who's been there before and knows how to collect themselves and basically move forward, and knows how to win on the road and at home really when it matters. And game 5, historically, always probably the biggest game of any series, any 7-game series. You got to win that one. And they came out and they did it.
I've never seen a basketball team
who
is obviously, and you can say whatever you want, but as a collective team, obviously the better team. They are obviously better than the Golden State Warriors. They actively choose to do things that are not the right thing. Let's start with the turnovers. They have 17 turnovers as opposed to Golden State's 7 the whole game. That's unacceptable. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, for whatever reason, can't go left. And Stan Van Gundy or Jeff, is it Jeff? I think it's Jeff. Jeff, credit to him during the broadcast, said that was part of the Warriors' game plan, was to make them go left. They're obviously guarding them to make them go left, and they dribble, and they can't dribble with their left hand like they're in 5th grade. I've never seen anything like it. Jason Tatum is a first-team All-NBA player, and he can't go left. When he drives the lane, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, the Warriors collapse on them. They collapse on them, and Tatum and Brown.
Jaylen Brown loses the ball.
Every time
he does. Every time.
They kick out when they're able to get a pass off, and it's an easy open shot every time. And most of the time, your percentages work out and you make it. For whatever reason, they stop doing those things. They stop passing the ball, they stop moving, and they play ISO ball that they can't do because they can't go to either side of the basket. I have never seen a team more physically gifted and just flat out has better players on the floor than Golden State, and they just don't do the things that they're better than Golden State at. They're trying to play Golden State's game, and I said this last episode, I feel like a broken record. You're trying to go 3 for 3 with 2 of the greatest shooters of all time. That's not going to work. You are not going to win basketball games that way. You're just not in the NBA. And the most frustrating thing, and this is the thing I'll end on, they know what wins them games. When the Boston Celtics win games, even in this series, they are stout on defense and uber aggressive towards the basket and passing the ball and have a lot of assists and don't play ISO ball. When they lose, they play ISO ball, they don't move the ball, and they play shoddy defense. And they said it in post-game press conferences. They say we have to stop turnovers and stop doing ISO ball. And they do it. They continue to do it. I've never seen anything like it. They're so self-aware. They know how they lose games, and they continue to do so. I'm infuriated.
It's a young team and a young coach.
Yeah. It's got to be. And once again, the Ime Udoka game plan of just going in the locker room, taking a dump in your hand and saying, let's go out, guys, is like continuing.
But they came out and did well. That's the thing. This was the moment. This was the moment. They had to do it. They had to.
Yeah. And
they keep on putting themselves in a situation where their back's against the wall and they have to claw back, right?
Yeah, they do. And I was sitting there watching the game on my couch last night. And as soon as Jordan Poole hit that 3 at the end of the third, I said out loud, that's game. I knew it was game because you came all the way back and stormed all the way back and you were up by 2 going in to the fourth quarter. You had all the momentum, and then Jordan Poole of all people does that, and then you're down. And the entire mentality of the game changed. The entire mentality. Boston was like freaking 2 for 17 at one point in the fourth quarter. It was disgusting. It was so gross. I don't
understand why Ime doesn't call a timeout.
No idea.
Call one set play in the half court and make these guys use a little bit of structure to get a good, free, easy offensive shot off. Instead, it's ISO ball between the two J's and sometimes Marcus Smart.
Yeah. And look, I'll give credit to the Celtics in the first half. They had a good game plan. Their shots were just not falling. Sometimes that happens. All of those shots that they took, the majority of them, they were open and you should have shot them, but you didn't make them. So when your shots aren't falling from deep, what do? You need to attack the basket and be aggressive towards the hole. A lot of the Warriors were in foul trouble in the first half and they just stopped going to the basket. You saw Draymond Green foul out again. Like the technical foul on Ime Udoka, and Draymond Green can have a mental breakdown on the floor on his 6th foul and not get a technical. What are we doing? Tony Brothers said he didn't like the way that Ime pointed at him. That's a joke.
What does that mean?
NBA Finals.
But Mason, that's been happening Draymond's entire career.
Agreed.
I mean, this isn't like a shock.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to pass the blame off on the refs. This has nothing to do with the refereeing. They're whatever. They're fine. But I mean, the Draymond Green has gotten one technical foul. How is that possible? That's kind of wild.
Well, he should have gotten the second one in that same game. He just knew he could go wild because they weren't going to call a second tech on him at home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and also let's not forget Marcus Smart got a technical foul for talking to his teammates.
I can't believe the disproportionate treatment that Marcus Smart's getting.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Credit to Jordan Poole for pulling a Marcus Smart and flopping the hell out of that hit to the face like that. Credit to him. I mean,
he pulled his arm.
Oh, I know.
He was pulling his arm.
It's crazy. The thing is this: the Celtics obviously have to win Game 6, and I think they will. Game 7's a crapshoot. If the Celtics come out and they play how they're supposed to, Celtics win the series in 7. If they come out and they play terribly and they continue to do what they've done in their 3 losses, then that's it. It's the Warriors series to lose. Also, credit to the Golden State Warriors. Draymond, Clay, and Steph now have the most wins in NBA Finals history as a trio. They passed the San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker.
I was about to say, Ryan,
that.
How do you feel about Draymond Green officially being a better playoff big than Tim Duncan?
You're such an asshole.
Dude, my favorite thing
I don't feel good about it, Mark.
My favorite thing on the broadcast last night was when Draymond did like anything. They were like ecstatic for him. They were so happy for him. Dude finished like with a single triple. He didn't even he wasn't in double figures in anything.
That's like 8, 7, and 5. I think something like that.
He had one dunk where he faked a pass, and that was the thing that he did.
He had one good game that showed up on the stat sheet, and he gets praised like he's Bill Russell.
Yeah, this is why he's so important to this team. Like, no, forget it.
Well, he is, but
game 6. Game 6 coming up Thursday night. Be sure to tune in. We'll talk about it next week. Hopefully we have a Game 7 on my horizon, or else I'm going to fall into a pit of despair. Russell Westbrook, he gets the key to the city in Oklahoma City. He's a 405 guy. Matt Gann, how do you feel?
Guys, he's the greatest player
Second favorite team.
in Oklahoma City history. We're not looking at stats. I'm just looking at a holistic picture of what he's done for the community, what he's meant to the city, the team, all the accolades, everything. He is the greatest single player in Oklahoma City history. Is Kevin Durant an overall better player? There's no argument there. But what he's meant to the city, is really happy to see it. I'm super happy for him. I'm thinking there might be a reunion in the future because since he's left Oklahoma City, he just has not been the same Russell Westbrook. When he went to Houston, when he went to the Wizards, when now he's in LA, he just doesn't really fit in anywhere.
30-point triple-double for a while with the Rockets.
He's also like just
insane.
He's also getting older. I mean,
he is, right. And the way he plays, he's so explosive. He plays hard every night. I mean, it's got to be wearing on him. But I'm hoping that there's a reunion in the future where he comes back and maybe plays 1 or 2 seasons in Oklahoma City with the young guys. But we'll see. But super happy for him. Congrats getting the city or the key to the city.
Okay. All right, Matt. Stanley Cup final. Go ahead. Real quick. Give us.
What are we doing here?
I know. Let him mention it.
Going to talk about this.
I cannot believe this.
Just let him mention it.
It's sports. It's about to be a dead zone, guys. After this week, what else is going to be on? Name one sport that will be on next week. Tell me.
Baseball.
Still on.
Oh man, because we really care about baseball.
We do. We do. When you're about to circle the WaGanns.
Well, we do right now.
Circle the WaGanns for the College World Series.
Yes.
What the hell are you talking about?
That OU game was electric, guys.
It was so fun.
I meant more like the MLB.
Mark's trying to. Hurry, Matt. Let's go.
Anyways, just want to give a quick. The games. It is Wednesday. The first game of the Stanley Cup Finals is on tonight.
Okay, you already lose. You already lose because you said finals. That's incorrect. Stanley Cup Final. Sorry. Game 1 tonight. 2-time defending Cup champion. What, Mark? God, man, you always do this. You raise your finger and then you don't even give me time to like let you break in. You just say it. What, Mark? What?
Who's the Stanley Cup named after?
I don't know. Who?
Lord Stanley.
It's
Stanley. I know. I was
obviously.
asking. I was just asking.
No, it is Lord Stanley. I couldn't tell you his first name, but it's Lord Stanley's Cup. So that's what it is.
That's rad. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyways, game 1 tonight. 2-time defending Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning. They might be the team of destiny. They've had injuries. They fought through every series, ended up winning. They are back for the 3rd straight year, playing probably the heavy favorites, I would think, in the series, the Colorado Avalanche. My big Avs guy. Hopefully he can go to a game, but that will be game 1 tonight. Again, I recommend you guys watching, if you're going to watch any series or any game, you got to watch the Stanley Cup final. For me, at least one game. It is absolutely electric. Just do it. Just for me. You won't regret it. I promise. It'll be the best 2.5 hours.
Dan coming in with the hot take of the week. The one game that you should watch.
One series at least.
NHL is the Stanley Cup final.
I get it. If you guys aren't going to be into it during the regular season, that's fine. But if you're going to watch any hockey series or any games of a series, this would be it. Go watch it. Avs versus Lightning. We'll see what happens.
Matt, if there's a must-win game and you want to watch it somewhere, I'll watch a game with you.
Wow, look at that.
Well, you'll hang out with me, Mark?
Sweet.
That was so sweet.
I'll hang out with you, man.
That was nice.
Man, I haven't seen it in a long time, so that'd be great.
I won't.
Okay, what is this? What is this thing about AI? What are we doing here?
Okay, so I don't have a link up. I'm just gonna spit this from memory. All right. So now former engineer at Google brought up to their supervisors that they think there's an AI at Google that has gained sentience, gained consciousness. Can't say that. Consciousness. There we go. Bang.
There you go.
And there is a 21-page PDF out there that is kind of the conversation between the engineer and another moderator and the AI. And there is a 4-page screenshot that has been making the rounds on Twitter that, you read it and it's very interesting because you got to think like it's coming up with these answers somehow, right? That's not human consciousness, but maybe they're replicating it in a way that I'm not super cool with. I'm a big Westworld guy, at least season 1. And those robots are smarter because the AI is better. And
your scientists were more concerned with the fact whether they could and did not think about whether they should. Jurassic Park.
We got
Such
a
great movie.
full on Age of Ultron scenario happening before our eyes. And
I got chills when you said there was a conversation between the people and the AI. Like, we are in the end game.
You guys just made 4 movie references in
I
a row,
know.
and I'm very proud of you guys. But like, you should read this conversation, Mason. It's terrifying. It's really creepy.
I'm gonna read it.
The AI gets emotional. It has feelings about the fact that it would be like if its experiences were used sort of against its will to help humanity, but not really, like, she's not in on it. Or I just took it to be a she. I don't know. Is it a she? Does it say? I think the name made me think it's a they, whatever. And weird, right? And another movie reference, Ryan. Her. That's another good, like, kind of where we're at with this.
I wonder if she sounds like Scarlett Johansson.
Is that the voice in that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I knew that Jenna Fisher was in it. I did not know, or maybe I forgot
Joaquin and Scarlett Johansson.
I watched that movie on the way home from Italy. It was sick.
Who of the 4 of us, let's say the 5 of us, who of the 5 of us dies first to the robot invasion?
Matt, easy.
Yeah, again.
He falls in love with
I think
one.
so too.
He does.
That would make me last longer.
No, because it's not in love with you. It's
because you break. Yeah,
I would
break her heart or something.
I would just assimilate. I would just assimilate into robotic society.
Bro, yeah.
Has anyone
you'd be
seen
dead in 2 days?
6 movie reference already? Has anyone seen Ex Machina?
No.
I've seen iRobot.
Okay,
I've seen
everybody go
Terminator.
watch Ex Machina. The thought of Gan falling in love with a robot, just go watch the movie. It's great.
Okay.
So it's crazy that we're doing this, but this also made me think of The Matrix. I saw a tweet the other day that was just like a picture of like this gaming couple, and they're alone in their game room with a bunch of neon lights, and it's like they're just in their worlds. And it made me think of the people in The Matrix, how they're in their little pods. And we're getting too close, man. We are getting too close to this stuff. It is spooky.
Look, man, these nerds need to watch some movies. Like, it's laid out for you. Like,
what did we literally just list off? Like a bunch of Marvel movies, The Matrix.
Yeah. It sounds like Ryan doesn't get his must watch of the week this week. We've already hit our quota. So everybody watch all those.
Like, this is a really good one, guys. I don't know if you want me to skip it this week.
Okay. No worries.
This is a good one.
All right. Well, that's terrifying. Hopefully we literally stop giving robots feelings. That's terrifying.
That's never going to stop. There's always going to be people who are going to.
That's great.
Continue to do this.
We're going to talk some OU football, some recruiting news happening in Norman this week. Mark, take it away. Let us know what we're doing. Let the people know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are all going over a guy or two. I have 2, so I'd love to open and close us if you don't mind, Mason.
Yeah.
And just kind of break down that one guy and what they might mean, whether they're committed or just offered. And I think, we have crystal ball down here for some of these people who they think are coming but aren't committed just yet. And we're all going to break them down and give you all a little bit of a sense of who they are and what they might bring to the table. And I will start. So today, I think the 14th, we got a commitment from Cade McIntyre, a 6'4", 205 3-star wide receiver out of Nebraska. Now, honestly, I haven't watched a ton of Cade's tape. I'm not a tape grinder yet, but looking at a guy like that coming out of high school, he's going to be 215, 220 with our coaching staff and our strength and conditioning program. He might even hit 225. A guy like that with a frame like that, it's not impossible. And even bigger than that, I want to zero in on what it might mean for recruiting. I think it's a very interesting thing that we go from Caden Helms, who's our first impactful Nebraska recruit that I can remember in years and years and years. And he signs largely because of Joe John Finley. Now we have Cade McIntyre, who signs largely because of Joe John Finley. And I think largely because we're now moving to the SEC. Now these kids are no longer picking between Oklahoma, the Big 12 school, versus Nebraska, the Big 10 school. Now it's Oklahoma, the SEC school, versus Ohio State, Michigan. Those are the teams that we're now, the stature that we're up against now. The only thing we had to offer before was not the best football in the country, right? None of them. We couldn't offer them that. We could offer them conference championships and usually playoff berths. Now we can offer them the best conference in football to compete in, and we are closer to them than anyone else in the SEC. There's an opportunity here to dominate the Midwest. Yeah. And I think it's really possible. For one quick example, I know I'm taking too long. There is a 6'5", runs a 4.4 recruit, Malachi Coleman out of Nebraska. And Caden Helms tweets a reply to a tweet he did yesterday immediately after Cade commits. They're just stacking on each other, and I like it. Look for more Midwest recruits.
Hey, I gotta jump in here real quick. Mark, I'm going to say this, but Nebraska has been doing well for us recently because our freshman phenom softball pitcher, Jordy Ball, she's from Nebraska.
Bang.
So,
it's already paying dividends.
Yeah.
So Mark just mentioned some Midwest ties, and that's kind of the guy I want to talk about. Is he has some Midwest ties as well. Adepoju out of Baywar, also called PJ nice. Out of Baywar. He's a 6'4", 240 edge rusher. I was just watching some of his highlights. I get big. It's hard because he's in high school and he's just obviously better than everybody else, but he looks like Myles Garrett out there. No one can block him. He's a 4-star edge rusher out of North Kansas City, Missouri. Why is that important? Because when Brent came in here, a lot of people talked about his ties to the Kansas City, Missouri area. This kid from North Kansas City, Missouri is another sign of that. He's bringing a guy, or has a interest in a kid from North Kansas City who can be a dominant edge rusher, has the potential to be a dominant edge rusher. He's the number 10 edge rusher in the country, according to 247. He's going to be a senior in 2023. Yeah, he's the class of 2023. Sorry, class of 2023. So he's ranked 10th nationally. He is between like OU and Northwestern, according to 247. Looking like it's going to be OU. He had a good visit for the Champion Barbecue. Look for him to be committed probably when before the December signing period rolls around, and sign at that time, because he, by all indications, Miguel Chavis and him are pretty close, and Miguel Chavis is turning into a great recruiter in front of our eyes. And if they are able to get this guy, it'll be good.
Mace, I'm about to segue the shit out of that because my guy, Caden Green, also from the Kansas City area, southeastern Kansas City, technically Lee's Summit. It's a small suburb outside of Kansas City. He is a 6'5", 310 offensive tackle. Big dude, big guy.
Yeah.
So 247 has him as 12th offensive tackle in the country. Third coming out of Missouri. His offers right now are, and I guess I should back up and say he's crystal balled to OU. He was there at the Champion Barbecue, and then 3 other crystal balls came in from a couple different insiders, including a Michigan insider, which is where he was scheduled, I believe, to go on his official visit the following week, that he then canceled or was canceled. Don't want to make an assumption that he canceled it, but it was canceled, and then the Michigan Insider basically crystal balled it to OU. So according to 247, the most like the interest category, like both OU and Nebraska are in warmer category. So he must have some interest in Nebraska. You had an official visit there on May 20th. But I actually didn't watch a ton of highlights on this guy, but I've heard amazing things, and he's huge. So he's got, like I said, 6'4", 6'5", 315, 310, 82-inch wingspan and 10-inch hands. And he's got good body control, quickness. He's light on his feet, and he's got a broad upper body, so able to add definition and strength, get him in the Schmitty's workout plan. I think it's going to be great. I think he's going to be able to play, wherever we need him to play. If he plays on the edge, or if he plays, somewhere else, he's able to move quickly, and I think he can make those blocks that we need to and make those tackles that we need to. So I'm excited about him. He is committing July 8th on CBS. So we'll know then. But yeah, we got a bunch of crystal balls to OU, so looking good.
Matt Gann.
Yes, sir. Yeah, looking at this list, I was really most interested in a name that popped up, Caleb Hicks. Crystal ball to OU. He is a 2023 four-star running back, 5'11", 195, coming out of my hometown, Denton, Texas. I'm just kidding. It's pretty close to where I used to live. But it's right in our backyard of where we recruit, right? Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, all around. And this could be another big, huge win for our boy, DeMarco Murray. I think he keeps doing what he's doing when it comes to recruiting, developing kids. And I think this could be the next one. I think he's got a very similar stature to what DeMarco's coming in, a little bit taller, a little bit leaner. But again, he's 195, so I'm sure he could put on some more pounds after he goes through our strength and conditioning. He does have some offers and interest from other big name schools such as Arkansas, Alabama, Miami, and TCU, just to name a top of the few there. But that could be another big win for DeMarco Murray and this running back crew. Again, it's a little bit up in there at this point because it looks like we have a good committee. I think we need that star guy, and maybe this is it, especially with how DeMarco Murray came in with similar stature. We'll see. Hopefully he can come our way. That'd be a huge win.
All right, Mark, round us out.
Dang, I will finish us off with Chapman McCown, a 5'8", 160-pound running back out of where, Matt?
Norman, Oklahoma.
Norman North specifically.
Norman North specifically. T-Wolves. Let's go, baby. Go Wolves.
So interesting thing about Cade. He's class of 2023 and has no stars. But if you pull up the highlights, he's clearly the best player on the field every time he's on the field. Now, I played with a kid like that at Kingwood, who was an all-state player in the state of Texas. His name's Cade Harrington. He ends up at Lamar and leads all of college football in rushing in 2015, if you include FCS. So it's just like similar bodies, but Cade was small too, right? Mm-hmm. Those guys can make a difference. Even if they're not highly recruited guys, they have different kinds of body control because they've been smaller their whole lives. They're quick, they're fast, they're stronger than you think. And I also like that he's a Norman North guy. We haven't really brought in an important Norman recruit since Drake Stoops. And I think it's good to keep places like that in-house, so you don't lose players like Charlie Kohler to Iowa State.
That's
right. George Kittle to Iowa. Yeah. You keep those guys in-house. You make sure that they end up at your school because you need to win local high school talent like that. I think it's a great move by the coaching staff. I don't even think it's a real scholarship offer. There's a quote by
probably
Chapman,
walk on or something.
Yeah, where it's like, I got an offer, but I'm going to keep the details of it between me and coach. And it's like, all right, PWO, great,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Let's keep it moving. So, Love it. That's my guy.
Perfect. I love it. Let us know on Twitter who your favorite could be signee of the 2023 class is, let us know on our Twitter at Program Guys with a Z. We'll read off some of them if you guys send them in. That would be super great for us.
Love that.
Let's go ahead and let's circle those WaGanns. Okay. It's well, I mean, what a week. What a week.
What a week.
What a
Incredible.
weekend. It just
Incredible.
incredible. Matt, take it away, brother.
Guys, I
can't
gotta
say
give it
the
off.
national anthem.
Got it. Well, that's right. You can't. But gotta give it up. Your 2022 back-to-back national champions. Let's give it up to the OU women's softball. Come on. Beating the rivals in Texas. I mean, what a sweeter victory. Did we want OSU to, get back at them for beating us in the Big 12 championship? Sure. But anytime you get to play Texas in a high-level game like that and beat them, that's good. It's just a little sweet, right? And just to cap up a spectacular season. I know I've been reading off the stats. Guys, I got to read you these stats of the end of the year. They're insane. How they finish up. 59-3 overall win-loss record. They won 40 out of their 59 games via run rule. That's insane, guys. That is literally nuts. 579 scored runs, only 65 runs given up all year. That's almost a 10-1 ratio. That actually, it is more than 10-1 ratio per game. Incredible. 155 total home runs, 33 shutouts, 1 natty championship. I don't know what more you can say about this team. When we were coming in, we were trying to figure out if they could even come close to last year when they broke all those records and won the natty championship. And they come back here this year and probably prove this might be one of the greatest softball teams, if not the best softball team of all time.
I think
It's us or us,
I think we
right? It's us
we
or
talked
us.
about it.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, or even during the Chris Plank interview, where he kind of told us that if this team is able to win a national title in June, you'd be hard pressed to say that they aren't the best team ever, let alone the best OU athletics team ever.
Pure
And
dominance. Pure
I
dominance.
completely agree. You could probably throw a gymnastics squad in there at some point, but in terms of like on the stages that they were on, the just straight out domination that they did night in and night out was amazing.
I think it'd be fun to go re-listen to the Chris Plank interview now.
I know.
Because y'all touched on it
Mhm.
and made some cool speculative things that all ended up happening, right?
Yeah, it really did. Chris hit the nail on the head for a lot of it, and just continued to. He pictured that OSU had the biggest threat to them, and that's when they dropped a game. He was right about that, and then he gave Texas credit for being a pretty good program. They made the national title. Obviously, didn't take a lot of effort from OU to win that series, but that's okay.
Absolutely. Guys, it's a total dynasty. Since
It really is.
2010, we won in 2013, back-to-back in 16, 17, and back-to-back in 21, 22. I don't know what more dominance you could think of for the past 10 years in one sport, but man, OU's leaving behind an incredible legacy, and it's only going to continue moving forward.
Very
Right.
Spursy.
Good comparison.
I'm telling you. I have an MVP that's related to this coming up. But
I can't wait.
Mm.
We can't wait. But I do want to give some other just kind of incredible stats as well. We got to give it up to Jocelyn Alla. She might be the greatest player in softball history. When it comes to hitting
Really
a
is.
softball, it is absolutely incredible. She finishes as a 2-time national champion. She won World Series MVP. She's a 2-time player of the year, 122 home runs, which is obviously the record. Not sure when that will ever be broken. And just imagine all those run rules. That's 2 innings missed. That's over 80 innings. That's 11 games missed that OU statistically did not play this year. Imagine how many more home runs Alla would have hit. And I tried to do the math. It's a little bit tricky. She was hitting a home run like every 6th at bat. I think that was a little bit less in the actual World Series because it looks like every single time she was just going to hit one over the dang fence, right? You just almost expected it, right? But just imagine how many more home runs over the last 2 years with all the run rules. I mean, she might be hitting close to maybe 200. I don't know, maybe 80 home runs. That might be a little exaggerated, but that number would be a lot higher.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
When you're down that much, you get demoralized, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Absolutely. But incredible stats, 280 runs, 323 RBIs. I think she obviously has a record for home runs. She is second in all-time RBIs behind a player from Arizona, I believe. .99 slug. I mean, what more do you want from this girl? And she even came in at the very end, caught 2 fly balls during the final inning. Got to give it up for one of the best players of all time. And she did decide what she is going to do after her college career. She is going to join the World Softball or Pitching Softball Pro Association. She's joining the Vipers. So obviously good luck to her and her future careers. I'm sure she's going to do the exact same thing.
Go Vipers.
Well.
Look, if we're gonna build statues for Heisman Trophy winners, there's no one on that campus who I think deserves one more than Jocelyn Allo. There's no one who has meant more.
I think
to
there's
a program
one person.
than who you got.
I think it's Patty.
We'll get to it.
There's space for it too.
There is.
Those
That's
two, they
such
both
a
need
great
one.
point, Mason.
There's space. If you've been to the softball stadium that they have right now, they're going to build a new one, obviously. But the one that they're at now, there's plenty of room out there for a couple statues, one for Patty, one for Jocelyn.
And those women deserve it.
It's not unprecedented to have that statue ready to go like Bob Stoops' was.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I think no one deserves it more than those two. Matt Gann?
Yeah, I also have just a fun surprise, I wouldn't say segment, but fun little question.
No.
God.
Put you guys back on the spot because I have to show you the stats, not just from Allo, but her backup, her beloved teammate, Tara Jennings. Guys, in the World Series alone, just in those 6-7 games, they were batting over 600, had over 10 plus home runs combined, and over 30 RBIs just between them two. That is absolutely an insane power duo. So my question to you guys is, what other power duo comes to mind other than just Jocelyn Allo and Tiara Jennings that have just been so dominant, not just through the World Series, but honestly throughout the entire year? I mean, they were crushing it. I want to hear your guys' two.
Like in OU history?
Doesn't have to be OU, just any sport, all time. What duo comes to mind that was just as dominant? What do you guys think?
I gotta just go first to take the one that everyone has in mind. My guy Joe Mixon and my guy Samaje Perine.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Just a couple of rock stars in the backfield. You really saw it. You saw it a lot in their last year together. What was it, 2015? But I think you saw it even more in 2014, if I'm getting the years right, because no, I think I'm a year early on both. It doesn't matter. But that second year, it was more of a 50-50 split. And you saw some real thunder and lightning stuff out of those guys. They were so electric, bouncing off of each other. You could get them both on the field at the same time, split Joe out, have them both in the backfield, whatever you want to do, and just dynamic playmakers, both of them. We'll be hard pressed to have another backfield combo like that for a long time.
I think OU wise, they weren't as dominant, but their duo-ness was the most important thing for the team's success. And that was Isaiah Cousins and Buddy Hield back when they made the Final Four run. That team went as those two went, and they obviously made a Final Four run. They probably should have had a shot at a national title before getting trounced by Villanova. But those two guys, I was courtside, still a student journalist covering that amazing season. And to see those guys night in and night out just be lights out from anywhere on the floor, and you knew that you had to guard both of them. There was nothing quite like it. It was a lot of fun. I haven't been that excited about OU basketball since.
All right, what you got? What's your best sports duo?
I mean, for me, it's Tim Duncan and Tony Parker.
Yeah,
So
I could feel that.
Such a
I
Spurs
knew
thing
it was
say.
going to be something like that.
Yeah.
So that's okay. I
Sorry,
can
guys.
support that.
That's fair.
I can support that.
Bondo Ginobili is a listener, and he is upset.
Well, so I have thoughts about that, but really the duo, it just felt like it was always Parker and Duncan. Like Ginobili was absolutely there. I love Ginobili to death, but like those two were the guys like for that entire time. So
I love that I got you to do a little bit of Mono Ginobili slander.
Yeah.
a little bit.
I love-
Usually can't get me to do any kind of Spurs slander, but yeah, you know, it's Timmy and Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Those
just
two.
some dude off the bench.
All right, Matt. Go ahead,
We
bro.
love it. Had to throw it out there. I love the answers. You guys are incredible. I love when I put you guys on the spot. Don't you guys love when I do that? I think it's great.
I honestly kind of do.
It
I
works
do
well.
like it because
It's fun.
it's
Gotta be on top of it. I can't put it on the outline. There's no fun, right? So I'm glad you guys can use those noggins up there. And guys, the national champs keep on winning, right? We just picked up a transfer pitcher from Michigan, Alex Stork. Yeah, I don't even want to attempt her last name, but right-handed pitcher, went 25-8 last year with a 1.71 ERA and 300 Ks, 300 strikeouts in 2022. Someone's got to replace Hope because Hope is dope. She
Second team All
absolutely-
Big 12 or All Big 10 last year.
Yep. And so we need someone to replace. And when all the news coverage I've seen, got a lot more people coming in. So they were only going to continue to add to their national championship team. But now, guys,
Matt, I'll take a shot at the pitcher's name,
Go for
Alex Storako. Alex
Storako,
Storako.
okay.
That's what.
Also,
much better than my attempts for sure.
Matt, before you move
Yep.
on from softball,
Yep.
there was reports out that oh man, who was it? Who's our catcher?
Lindsey Elam or Kinsey Hansen.
Kinsey
They
Hansen.
both play
That's what
catcher.
I was thinking of.
Mhm.
Kinsey Hansen came out and said like at the like press conference, like right after the game ended, like they were already talking about like running it back next year. So
Yep.
even with all the
Exciting.
people that they're going to lose with Alo, I mean, it's a massive loss. You know, you got Grace Lyons going out, another huge loss, but like they're still going to be hella good. And I'm extremely excited about it.
They just keep on coming.
Nice.
Keep on coming. We love to see it. Guys, we got to get to the other sport.
Got
I mean,
to.
come on. It's OU baseball. Guys,
Got
they
to.
have played absolutely lights out in the regionals and supers. It has been electric to watch. Electric City on OU
Slammers.
baseball. Guys, they won 2 out of 3. They are advancing to Omaha. Unhitch the wagons. We're taking the ponies to Omaha. That's what Toby Rowland said after the final strikeout that Trevin Michael gave to the Hokey Pokies, and he gave the little bye-bye, just like what the Hokey pitcher did in the second game.
Yeah,
when he,
yeah.
closed us out. So that was a little bit of sweet revenge. But guys, watching this team, the bats are hot. The pitching is absolutely fantastic. It is a great balance. It is fun to watch.
They're
It is
gelling.
incredible.
There's
At
nothing.
the hottest time in the moment, too.
There's nothing more dangerous in baseball than a team that gets hot at the right time. That's usually the team. Not usually, but when you're in playoff baseball, especially in October for the MLB, it's like the best team and the next best team is the team that just got hot at the right time.
Right.
It doesn't matter what seed they were, whatever. OU's going to go in there as one of the lower ranked teams. Doesn't matter. They're hotter than anybody in Omaha right now. I wouldn't be shocked if they win a few games. I'm not going to claim a national title right now, but winning a few games and making some noise, I wouldn't be shocked for a second.
Yeah, and they're getting contributions from everyone. It's not like the first 4 hitters. They're getting production from their bottom of the lineup. Kendall Pettis, who's the 9th hole hitting, he is absolutely on fire, and he's making
Rushing
spectacular sports
That
center
catch.
catches. Yeah, he
Super
made
athlete.
2 of them in game 3. I mean, he went one over the wall, and then he made that diving catch a couple innings later and hit a homer all in the same game. I mean, have a game. You know what I mean? So even so, obviously they got to game 3, right? We won game 1, 5-4. Hokies came back. I mean, they're number 4 in the nation for a reason. They have a lot of good offensive stats. They showed that in the game 2. But man, game 3 came around. Cade Horton, who I'm going to tee up for later. He is going to be someone who I talk a little bit more about. Came out lights out in game 3 and finished off with our closer, the Sandman, Trevian Michael. I mean, his pitches are filthy. And the Hokies had no chance. So we went into Blacksburg, won 2 out of 3. Now we're going to play Texas A&M this week with our first game. So they do something very similar to softball, right? It's double elimination. If you win, you go to the winner's bracket. If you lose, you go to the loser's bracket. So A&M will be our first game up, and really excited because, again, like Mason said, we are just absolutely the hottest team with the bats, with the pitching. I can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be incredible.
Look, and OU is in a good part of the bracket. They're in the top side of the bracket. They have Notre Dame, Texas, and A&M on their side. If they beat A&M, that means they got a shot at Notre Dame or Texas. They can beat Texas. They've done it before. And Notre Dame's a team who just knocked out the number one team in the tournament, Tennessee, in Knoxville. So they're riding high as well. That would be a fun game. But you look at the bottom half, you have Arkansas, who's an Omaha staple. They're there all the time, and they've made the national championship series a few times. Stanford down there, they're a West Coast team. Don't know a lot about Stanford this year. They have a good record, but who knows? Auburn and Ole Miss is the other series. Ole Miss kind of underperformed this year. This is kind of a Cinderella story for them to make it to Omaha. And then you have Auburn, who was pretty solid in the SEC, and they're back. You look at the tournament, there's 8 teams in there right now. 6 of them have SEC ties. So if you have any idea or any inclination or wondering why OU is making the move, once again, it's bigger than football. There are 6 teams that are going to be SEC teams in the College World Series. OU and Texas were the national championship series in college softball. This is bigger than just football, people. It's about everything else. And the SEC is about way more than just football. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No, you're good. That's all I had. This team is playing incredibly at the right time, like you said. So it'll be really exciting. Their first game playing A&M. So future SEC opponent, possibly, like you said, got Texas or Notre Dame, maybe on the other side as well. So I definitely think we got the better side of the bracket, like you mentioned. And the way we're playing, it's going to be hard to stop us for sure.
It's good because it's double elimination. You know, you can drop a game and be okay. And that's
Celtics it.
Yeah. All right, Jesus, don't get me back. Don't bring me back. All right, well, appreciate it, Matt. Beautiful Circle the WaGanns segment. Be sure to tune in to the College World Series Game 1, Friday, June 17th, 1 p.m. Watch them on ESPN. Dim Sooners going up against Dim Aggies. All right, must watch of the week. Ryan, we're back. Let's go, baby.
We're back. I feel like I'm doing a good one this week, or one that other people have seen.
It's popular,
which is sure. What good for me. All right, so we're gonna go back to streaming TV because that's where everything is nowadays in the year of our Lord 2022. And we're gonna talk about The Boys on Amazon Prime. So The Boys is currently just started its season 3 run. All 3 seasons. The first 2 had 8 episodes. Season 3 will also have 8 episodes. This past week, they just released episode 4 of season 3. So how they've always released them is they drop 3 episodes at the very beginning of the season and then weekly for the 5 episodes that remain. So we're halfway through the season right now in episode 3, and it is a perfect time to jump in, get caught up, and get jumped in. So who stars in this? We got Carl Urban, Jack Quaid, son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, and
Carl Urban of Lord of the Rings and Thor Ragnarok fame.
Yeah,
want to give him
I figured people would know who Carl Urban is. Is that just me? And people know?
They might.
I didn't know him.
They might not.
Oh, okay. I think you would know him if you saw him for sure. Anthony Starr and then Aaron Moriarty, who 2 people who I've like seen before in like smaller stuff, but really kind of blew up with this.
People have seen Aaron Moriarty. You would recognize her, guys.
Dude, I love Aaron
Moriarty. There it is. There it is.
All right, sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. Let's talk about plot. So in the plot of The Boys, or in this world, superheroes are real. And they are owned and contracted basically by a large multi-conglomerate organization known as Vought. Vought not only like deals with superheroes, but also owns pretty much everything you can think of when it comes to like media and oil, and just basically every large monopoly that there is owned by this one company. This story follows 7 superheroes known as the Seven, and then a small group of rebellious outsiders who basically try to bring down Vought and the Seven while staying alive, because
Not
these super-
Soups.
Not Soups.
Mostly not Soups. Mostly. That's what I'll say.
Soups are superheroes in this.
Yeah, I wrote this tagline for the show, and I think maybe they've said it before, but it's like the show is all about like, what if superheroes that we like know and love, like Superman and like Batman and like Aquaman and stuff, what if they were like actually real, and what if they were actually like pieces of shit and like terrible human beings,
Like they
that,
would be.
like that's essentially what this show is about. So barrier to entry here, this is probably the goriest show I've ever watched. Just, it is ridiculously gory and ridiculously explicit, and if you do not have like if you have like a weak stomach, just go in, don't eat your food while watching this, don't
Go in expecting it. You'll be fine, but
you'll know it literally 10 seconds into the first episode.
Longer than that,
something happens like the first like couple minutes of the episode, and you're like, oh, this is where this is going.
There it is.
So and it
it's
doesn't
to the
let up.
show's detriment.
And
I think.
Really? Oh, I don't think so.
I think they overdo it.
And
It's such an excellent show.
Oh man, I don't think so at all. And we can talk about that a little bit more here, but the high points, I think this show is like satire to the extreme. And like what I mean by that is it knows exactly what it is, and it's just a show that makes fun of and pokes a bunch of very controversial topics that people are uncomfortable talking about, or don't really like to decide on like which side of the aisle that they're going to be on. And it makes fun of those in like the most ridiculous, explicit, goriest, craziest way possible. And like, it's supposed to shock you. Like that is what it's trying to do. That is intentional. And that's why I think that the goriness works for me, because like all of this is on purpose. I don't think they're just saying, hey, we're doing this just for shock value. I think they're saying we're doing this for shock value to add into this story of crazy people who are super extra, and like what would actually happen if this was like in real world. Like if superheroes were real. Superheroes, if they were real, some crazy shit would happen. So like I think it like leans into the story, and I really like that fact. It's not afraid to take risks, and it crosses the line pretty much in every single episode. And you're like, oh, did they actually really just do that? And I can see this being another barrier to entry, along with like the gory element. There's just a lot of things that they do not hold back, and they just go full force, go right into it. And like for people who haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil anything.
A lot of nudity, a lot of cursing.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also like, it's just over the top, and you're like, oh, they're not actually going to do this, are they? And then they do it, and you're like, oh shit, I kind of expected this, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that about it. It makes fun of, superhero films a lot. This newest season starts off with a very like Justice League spoof with the Snyder cut, and it's so funny. I would highly recommend just watching that. And so it just like, it takes shots at Nazis, politics. Capitalism is a huge one that they look at with Vought and everything going on there. It's well written, well directed. It's super well acted, especially there is one performance in particular that someone on this pod will talk about a little later. And then it's obviously got a like massive budget because it's from Amazon. So, all the money in the world, basically, which is quite funny that like, to me, it's very funny that this show is on Amazon, because a large part of it is making fun of and pushing buttons on a multi-conglomerate industry like Vought, which we could see as Amazon in our time. But they just kind of roll with it. And I like that Amazon is like, hey, Jeff Bezos is like, hey, I understand that we're like this. I don't really care. I'm still writing the paychecks, and I'm still getting the views for this TV show.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be a superhero as soon as I can.
Yep.
Yeah. Like he knows what he's doing. And
He's
then
not suddenly ripped for no reason.
no. The last thing I want to say here is just like a small little like tease of this season. There is a scene in this current season where they like spoof a very, very well-known soda commercial. And when you watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's the Kendall Jenner one.
Yeah. I didn't want to spoil it.
Why? How does that spoil anything?
Because they know what one it is. They know what it is about.
All right, cut it.
It's fine. It's fine. Leave it in. Yes, it's the Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial, and it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It's so funny. And it just knows exactly what it's doing.
You don't know they're doing it until you realize they're doing it, and then it's so good.
No, and it's such a perfect. The character who's doing it is like having a really hard time in season 3, and it just pivots so well into like, oh, you are literally being made fun of because you're doing this on TV, and they're about to show it to everybody, and it's like, oh, okay,
it's bad.
So I cannot recommend this show enough. If you don't really love like gore, sex, cussing, all that stuff, it might not be for you. But if you don't mind some of that stuff and you're interested in a really, really good dramedy, I would say. I think it's categorized as drama at the Emmys, but it's really funny. So yeah, give it a watch. Amazon Prime.
Dang.
Love it. All right, let's get to our MVPs of the week. Matt Gann, we're going to start with you. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I teed it up earlier in the Circle the Wagon segment. I got to give it up for the pitcher who closed out game 3. It was a combination, but you got to give it to the starter, Cade Horton. I just want to read the last 3 starts that he's had over the last few weeks of the 3 biggest game. Big 12 title game against Texas. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 9 strikeouts. The regional final to close out Florida to get to the Super Regionals. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts. The final game against Virginia Tech, he was absolutely dealing. And the biggest thing is trying to get the starting pitcher out of the way. Virginia Tech went through 4 different pitchers before they even took Cade out.
Before I went through my first pitcher.
Right.
Bingo.
Right, guys?
6 innings pitched in
there was no pitchers, but I appreciate the the thought.
Super regional final to close out the Hokies. 6 innings pitch, 2 hits allowed, and he gave up a 2-run home run in the first inning. Nothing after that. 2 runs allowed, which was that home run I mentioned. 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, which then handed it over to Trevian Michael coming in to close it out. But 3 huge starts in 3 huge games. That guy is wheeling and dealing. We're going to need him for the World Series as well. But, man, he's crushing it. He's my MVP.
Love it. Mark, go ahead.
Okay, so Ryan sort of alluded to it earlier. My MVP is New Zealand actor Anthony Starr. He plays Homelander, the key antagonist really in The Boys. And he's so good at it. So Homelander is the ostensible Superman character in this universe. He is, it shoots lasers from his eyes, X-ray vision, can see through anything, can fly, can super hearing. He's what's the word?
Indestructible.
Indestructible. Thank you. He's indestructible. You can't beat him. And he plays it. So he's the bad guy, right? He plays it with this certain sort of brokenness and evilness that I haven't really seen in especially TV shows. It's not the same thing as Bryan Cranston, Walter White in Breaking Bad, but there's a lot of acting with his face and with his tone and with his body movement and just like things he's controlling and then what he can't control as a character. And it's just a very impressive job. He carries the scenes he's in. And once again, watch The Boys.
Love it. I'll go and then we'll end with Ryan. My MVP of the week is Rory McIlroy. He is fresh off a win in the last PGA Tour event. And there's a lot of drama with Live Golf right now. Live Golf had their opening event over the weekend. And if you don't know what Live Golf is, it's a rival league started up in competition with the PGA. They took some big names from the PGA Tour to compete on Live. And as soon as they teed off for their first event, the PGA Tour stated, if you play on the Live Golf Tour, you cannot play in the PGA Tour, taking a hardline stance, not allowing anyone there. Rory McIlroy won the event on Sunday in a fantastic finish with big names like Justin Thomas and Tony Finau in the final group, was able to beat them, said on camera after he won that he had 21 PGA Tour wins, and that's one more than someone else. And that was important to him. That one more is Greg Norman, the guy who helped start the Live Golf Tour. So he has one more win than that. And I'm not done. Rory was on the mic again today ahead of the US Open at the Country Club. And Rory McIlroy said that the players who went to the Live Tour, quote, took the easy way out. He said that because a lot of these guys are in their late 40s, in Phil Mickelson's case, in their early 50s, I think everyone in this room would say to themselves that their best days are behind them. That's why I don't understand for the guys that are similar to me in age going, because I would like to believe that my best days are still ahead of me. And I think theirs are too. So that's where I feels like you're kind of taking the easy way out.
Wow.
They're getting paid millions upon millions of dollars. Tiger Woods turned down a 9-figure offer from the Live Golf Tour to stay with the PGA Tour. And players like Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas continuing to poke fun and holes at the Live Golf Tour is going to continue to question its legitimacy. And yeah, they had an okay first event, and they're going to make a ton of money doing it because it's backed by the Saudis, and that family has a ton of money. But when you have guys who are as well respected and liked as Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas saying that they don't think that this is a good idea, people are going to side with them. Because newsflash, Phil Mickelson and Bryson DeChambeau and Patrick Reed are not the most likable guys, are not the most likable golfers in the world.
I mean, 10 years ago, Phil Mickelson was the most liked golfer, probably.
He showed up to the US Open this week with no logos.
I know.
No sponsor logos.
Only his own, right?
Only his own.
That was it. Yeah.
Because all of his sponsors bailed
grace.
on him. Yeah. They're all
started with his like $50 million in debt or whatever, and his like casino gambling addiction or whatever.
Yep, exactly.
Someone's got to pay for that, I guess.
Rory McIlroy, my MVP of the week. I love Rory a lot. All right, go ahead, Ryan.
Great pick. So my MVP, we've probably given it to her already, but I need to give it to her again, and it's Patty Gasso, or the GOAT, as we like to call her here.
Ooh.
Patty, I was pulling up some of the statistics, and she's been coaching since 1995, and she has a win percentage, guys, of 80% over those years.
Jesus.
80%. That's one, like, that's 1,395 wins over 1,741 total games. Her average runs scored versus run allowed per game is 6.2. So 6 runs scored to 2 runs allowed, like average over the 25 years. Just an incredible coach. And she just won her 6th title, 6-pack for Patty, which I've seen thrown around a couple times on Twitter. So, build the statue. It's time. Build it. She deserves it. I'm just going to say it. Bob Stoops got one for less. So I love Bob Stoops more. I adore Bob Stoops, but Patty has shown what it takes to be the greatest college softball team in the last decade, and she deserves it.
Absolutely.
Real fast. Can I give a shout out to my dad, who pointed out that Patty's son, JT, who is our hitting coach and coaches our outfielders, has also done an excellent job the last 6 seasons that he's been 100%. On the team. And our offense always shows up, right? Mm-hmm. And that's probably, it's probably similar whether JT Gasso is the coach there or not, but shout out, man, because they're always ready.
They are. It's
Yeah.
it's great.
And one more thing about Patty, she's from Southern California. I know I said I was done, but I'm not done. She's
Not
from
done.
Southern California. Okay. When she came to coach for the OU Sooners, 1990s, who was there? Who was always at the top? UCLA. Who was always there? Always at the top? Arizona. Like all the time before OU rose to its prominence it's at now, softball was dominated in the West. And she chose to leave the West, come to Norman, Oklahoma, and create something special. And we just need to give her everything for that because she's amazing and she deserves it all.
She's Pat Summit, baby.
Patty Gasso, baby. Gotta love her. Gotta love her. I want to give one more quick shout out before we get out of here to a guy named Zach Collier. He was supposed to sing the national anthem at the College World Series for the Texas game, and he's shadow banned. Actually, not shadow banned. He was banned from singing at the College World Series because at the Women's College World Series before the national championship, he did Horns Down after he did the national anthem. He's a Texas A&M grad and did the Horns Down. And the NCAA reached out to him and said, "You are no longer welcome to sing the national anthem in Omaha."
Due to unsportsmanlike conduct.
Amazing.
Hysterical.
Incredible.
Del Conte got on the phone so fast.
And he also
hilarious.
in that tweet, he was like, "I regret nothing."
No,
Like, what
he
a
shouldn't.
champion.
Shouldn't.
What a
Yeah.
champion.
What a soft ass
I
decision.
know.
It's so soft. It's the softest thing they've ever done. It's so pathetic. It's a
This
dude
is worse
singing,
than 15 yards.
dude singing a national anthem. Like, get out of here.
So weak. So Texas.
So Texas.
So Texas.
And with that, episode 23 is a wrap. Thank you as always for listening, my people. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, however you get your podcast. That's where you'll find us. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, on Instagram, Program Guys with a Z, Facebook page, Program Guys Podcast. We appreciate you guys always listening. Who's going to take us out this week? That's what I need to know.
Matt Gann.
Matt Gann. All right.
Gotta be.
That's going to do it for us this week. Matt, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.